Hello, new team members and recruiters. It is Tuesday, October 30th, and this is our weekly training and welcome call for all of our new team members. So my name is Michelle Zito. I'm a company vice president here in New York, part of the Lewandowski organization, which now you are too. And I am either your upline or a sister stylist here at Park Lane. So my job and the job of all of the leaders here is to cheer you on and to support you so that you can have a successful business here at Park Lane. So if we're not already friends on Facebook, and if you're not friends with your leader or recruiter on Facebook, please do shoot us a friend request. We'd love to be able to do recognition. We'd love to be able to get to know you better through Facebook. So please feel free to do that. In my case, my name on Facebook is Michelle Walsh Zito. So I am so thrilled to welcome you to Park Lane and to our team. Please know that I do this call pretty much every week at this time because it's important that everyone on the team gets the same information. So it's extra important for you to know this too, because if you tomorrow end up with somebody wanting to join your team, well, then you're just going to invite them onto next week's welcome call so that you don't have to worry about knowing everything in order to be able to recruit. So on tonight's call, we're going to focus on our Rich Rewards program, which allows you to add free jewelry and supplies to your kit, as well as how to introduce your new business to your family and friends. And that includes having a fun and successful launch party. So I hope that you are ready to take notes if you have a pen or you're using your laptop or whatever you're going to do. Now, speaking of notes, I am going to share some scripts with you as far as inviting to your launch and introducing your business. That, of course, you don't have to try to write down the whole thing. I'm going to show you where on the field interface you can find the very similar words to what I'm sharing with you. So the script parts, you don't have to try to write down that whole thing. So Park Lane is so generous to us. They know that we want to add more jewelry to our kit all the time, not just when we're new. I'm here 5 years, and I always still want to add more jewelry to my kit. I know Belinda does too, Phyllis does too. We all do. We all want to add free jewelry to our kit. So they allow us to participate in what is called the Rich Rewards program. This allows us to add free and discounted jewelry and supplies to our kits every single month. And of course, that's in addition to our pay. At no time does Park Lane ever pay us in jewelry. That would not really fly with Visa and your mortgage company. So you get paid and you can earn free jewelry. So let's jot down some numbers real quick. First, write down 12 to 15 average orders. 12 to 15 average orders. Okay? Next, write down $1,000 in sales. $1,000 in sales. And then lastly, write down $300 in commission. $300 in commission. So what do these numbers mean? When you collect 12 to 15 average orders for your launch party, or really any party, and I know that you all know 12 to 15 people that have a neck, okay? You can expect that you're going to yield about $1,000 worth of customer orders. And on a $1,000 customer order show, you receive a $300 paycheck. So does that sound good? I'm going to assume that everyone says yes.
Yes.
So, good. That's what I like to hear. And Park Lane doesn't expect us to turn around and put all of that $300 into more jewelry. That's why we have the Rich Rewards program. So I'm going to share my screen for a minute so that I can show you the Rich Rewards brochure, which is where you can so that you can keep this out and you'll know how to earn. So right here in the download section of the field interface, I clicked field interface, then downloads. and just scroll down to here where we have Rich Rewards Club brochure. Okay, so here's how the program works. Every single month, there are 6 levels. Level 1 is when you submit personal sales of $1,000 in the first 2 commission weeks of a month. Then you are rewarded with $250 worth of jewelry of your choice. So something to be aware of in Park Lane, which I'm just going to take a look at with you real quick. If you look at a calendar, Park Lane does the sales week as Thursday to Wednesday. So the last Wednesday of the month is when the Park Lane month ends. So whenever you hear a Park Lane month or a calendar month, they mean the as of the last Wednesday of the month. So if we were to go back to September, the last Wednesday in September was September 26th. It was the last Wednesday, which means that the first day of October in Park Lane World was September 27th. That was a Thursday. So week 1 of October was the week that ended October 3rd, and then week 2 ended October 10th. So if you did $1,000 in sales in those 2 weeks, then you got to pick out $250 worth of jewelry of your choice. Then week 3, it so happens that October was a 5-week month, which we happen to love. So the third week ended the 17th, the 4th week ended the 24th, and month end for October is tomorrow, Wednesday, October 31st. Every so often, the real end of the month and the Park Lane end of the month turn out to be the same day, and October happens to be one of those months. There's not too many of them. By comparison, the last Wednesday in November is November 28th, so then that is the last Wednesday in November, so the first day in December in Park Lane World is November 29th. So just to give you an idea of how that works. So level 2 is your free catalogs. When you submit sales, now every remaining level, you have the whole month to do, whether you're adding it to sales from the first 2 weeks or you're starting somewhere later in the month. Sales of $1,500 in the whole month, you get to do your catalog order, buy one, get one free, because after you've done some business, you're going to run out of catalogs and need more. If you place an order for 20, you'll receive 40. If you place an order for 40, you'll receive 80. So you can also mix and match English and Spanish catalogs in any number that you would like. Okay, level 3 is free jewelry. Submit personal sales of $2,500. Now, mind you, these are all accumulative. So we're not saying another $2,500. You were already at $1,500, so another $1,000 to hit the $2,500. You get the ensemble of the month. And that's just whatever piece of jewelry. It can be an earring and bracelet set. It can be a necklace and earrings. It can be just one higher end pair of earrings or necklace or bracelet. We call that the ensemble of the month. And that will just show up for free at your house. So that is a great one. And you receive it free, no tax, no shipping, nothing, with $2,500 for the month. And then the final sales level is when you sell $4,000 in the month. When you sell $4,000 in the month, then you get to pick out an additional $300 worth of jewelry of your choice. So if you've done that from the start of the month, that's $250 plus $300 is $550 plus the value of whatever your ensemble of the month is. That's pretty amazing. Now there's 2 levels for team building as well. In a month where you have 2 recruits that sell 1,000 in their first 5 weeks, which we call qualified, you get to pick out another $300 in jewelry. And in a month that you have 4 recruits, then you get to pick out another $300. So that's another $600 worth of jewelry added to the $550. So that's $1,150 worth of jewelry plus the value of the catalogs and the ensemble of the month. Pretty amazing, right? So that is our Rich Rewards program. And that is how you're going to add to your kit. Now, having a successful launch party that your leader is probably doing with, if not for you, depending on geography and scheduling and whatnot. That's key to starting your business off strong. And we really are trying to help you make sure that you have business that will extend beyond your family and friends. So there are 3 steps to make your launch party a success. Number 1 is to have 2 launch parties, to over-invite to that party and invite everyone. Step 2 is to invite using multiple methods and to know what to say. And step 3 is to fill your calendar with parties so that you can earn your rich rewards and to earn great money right away. So let's go over each of those 3 steps. Step 1 is to have 2 launch shows, over invite and invite everyone. Okay, I do highly recommend holding 2 launch parties, one with your leader, again, if geography or technology allows, and one without. Now, the reason I say that is because if you're inviting people for a Friday night or a Sunday brunch, then when they say, oh, I can't do Fridays because Mikey has basketball every Friday night, you can say, oh, no problem. I'm also having a brunch and bling on Sunday at 12. I would love for you to come to that. So that way, if there's a backup for people that have those types of scheduling conflicts, you can, of course, work that however you want. Maybe you're going to do one show on a Wednesday and one on a Saturday. Maybe you're going to do Saturday at 1 o'clock and Saturday at 7 o'clock. 2 different time slots so that people get a sense of the 2 different types of times that they can have shows. Okay. Now, a third of who you invite will generally be able to come. So that means that if you invite 30 people, you'll probably have like 7 to 10 actually come that night. And that is a great start, but I say take advantage of the fact that your leader is going to probably be there. She's there working for you, driving the sales, getting you bookings, finding you a recruit, sharing business information. So you want her to be in front of as many of your friends and family members as you possibly can so that she can get the best results for you. So make a list of everyone that you're going to invite and ask your family to help you think of some names. As you're doing this, really try to diversify your list and not to prejudge anyone. So for example, if you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to invite Sue because she doesn't have any money, you're going to invite her anyway. She might book a party so that she can get more of the jewelry for free. She might want to join your team so that she can solve the problem of not having any money. And no one's pressuring her to buy. The more people that are there, the better that it is. So invite her anyway. If you were going to I'm not going to invite Fran. She's too busy. You're going to invite Fran because busy people seem to get the most done. She can probably use a night out and let her decide if she's too busy or not. And don't forget to invite your neighbors because you don't want to be that person that when the neighbor looks out the window and sees the other neighbors or friends that she knows walking into your house and there's all the cars and she's like, oh, I guess Summer's having people over, but clearly I was not invited. Okay, you don't want her talking about you like that. Just invite her. And believe me, your neighbors want to get inside your house. They want to be nosy. That's okay. Let them be nosy and bring a Visa card. Now they're part of your party. So you want to have as many people there as you can. Just as a quick aside, I will tell you that at the week of my launch party, I invited my diagonal across the street neighbor, Pam. Pam and I did not really ever hang out. I would see her sometimes at the bus stop. That was it. I invited her a few days before the party. She said, I think I can come actually. Then the day before, she texted me, is it okay if I bring my aunt and my sister? And I was like, of course you can. So she brings her aunt, her sister, and herself. They all 3 placed orders, which helped me get towards my double free credit that all hostesses get, right? 10 orders, you get double free credit. And then on top of that, her sister, Melissa, has been one of my top customers for 5 years almost. I'm here almost 5 years. She has spent literally thousands of dollars with me. She's come to Sip and Style. She's come when the CEOs come for a special event. She's come to personally shop at my house My Christmas time shopping thing. She does personal appointments when the new catalog comes out. There's no end. She was here in my house 2 weeks ago. She wanted to make a quick, she just wanted to like go over a couple of things with me. And of course, while she's here in my office, she was nosing around, and sure enough, she spent another $75 that day. So you just never know. The bring a friend is the best guest at any party, because the bring a friend, when I told Pam, feel free to bring a friend, she thought about, who do I know who loves jewelry, who likes to shop? And clearly that's who she knew exactly who to bring, because she has other sisters, she has other friends, but she chose those two because they love jewelry. So that's what's great about the bring a friend always. So always tell your hostesses to remind her guests to bring a friend. Now, can you invite your out-of-state family and friends? Absolutely, please do. Now, they may not get in the car and take a road trip, but you all just got a nice new shiny personal website when you signed up, or you're using your Leaders for Now, and that allows them to place an online order. That can certainly support your launch party. They may want some information about the business, so by all means, please invite out-of-staters as well. Now, quick question. Did any of you receive a 5% raise at your job this month? Any of you like with a regular job? Did you get a 5% raise this month? Because that's pretty hard to come by, right? To get a 5% raise. That is something that regular corporate America is pretty stingy about, but Park Lane is extremely generous about. Because if you have one person join your team in this business, then you can become eligible for a 5% raise. It's a two-part thing. So when you sell $1,000 in any given month, so let's say you put in your launch party here in October, and then you have a team member that joins and sells $1,000 in her first 5 weeks, well, then you've just gotten yourself a raise. You're going to get a 5% raise on your personal sales every time you go out and do a show. So how great is this? Because something else to know, especially for those of you that have done a different direct sales business, you're going to extra appreciate this. If that person was to quit, you don't demote and go back to 30% commission. You stay at 35%. And you will always have that title and that commission rate, because Park Lane doesn't ever demote people, which is a pretty big deal in direct sales. So just to put that 5% raise in perspective, just so that you know, if you did a $600 party tonight, you went out, you did the show, and sold $600 worth of jewelry, at your introductory commission rate of 30% as a fashion director, you would earn a $180 paycheck, which is, of course, excellent. But if you had that one team member, then you would instead have earned $210. So think about that times how many shows a month you do, because that's $30 that night. But if you did 3 shows like that, that's almost an extra $100 extra in your pocket. So we want you to be able to earn the maximum amount of money every time you leave your house. So people are going to naturally ask you about the business side of Park Lane, because you're calling and telling them about your new business. So there's going to be people that say, so how'd you get into that? Or what made you try that? Or how much did it cost to get started? So you are just going to say and do something super easy. What you can say is, you know what, I'm really not 100% sure what I'm doing yet, as I'm obviously really new, but I do know that I love the jewelry, I'm wearing the jewelry, and people compliment me on it all the time. My friend, and then fill in your recruiter. So for you, Summer would be, so my friend Belinda is the one who is answering all of my questions, and I would love for her to answer your questions too. Would it be okay if I had her give you a call? And then throw in, she's really nice and she's not pushy. Okay, because sometimes people think that some like annoying lady that's going to call her 600 times is going to call. Also, what we have for you is a new resource to help with your potentials. Is we have a Facebook group now that is strictly for the new people to get their live Q&A, to see some videos, to see what's available here at Park Lane. And it's just called Check Us Out, Life as a Park Lane Stylist. So your leader or recruiter will add you to that group so that you're able to throw that in there too and say, hey, I'd love to put you in the Facebook group where we answer all the questions, if that is something that they would like. So let me tell you something. When you do this, where you call your leader and you're like, hey, as it turns out, my cousin Sue is interested in the business. She has a couple of questions. This is her phone number. She said she's free tomorrow from 3 to 5. That's not being annoying. That's being like the best new team member ever. You will make your leader want to do a cartwheel when this happens. Okay, now Belinda can do a cartwheel. She'll do it for you, Summer. You get those leads to Belinda. We'll get her doing a cartwheel for you. Okay? And you become your leader's most favorite recruit when you allow us to help you build your team. Because as you build a team and earn more money, then that in turn builds us, and that is what we're all here to do. No one joined this business because they were bored or because they needed a hobby, right? If you just wanted a hobby, you could have joined a bowling league. But you came here, maybe you want you want something fun, but you came here for a business that was fun, to make money. And everybody here is about helping each other build a business and make the most money that you can make at each and every time you leave the house, helping you grow and helping the people that you bring to the business grow. So that is what you're going to find. Every leader in this organization is 100% about helping you with those goals. Okay? So that was step one. So we talked about the launch parties, we talked about the over-inviting, inviting everybody, and I threw in about the 5% raise. So let's go to part 2. Step 2, which is to invite using multiple methods and to know what to say. Now, the most successful new team members invite using lots of methods. So those methods can include, and should always include, phone calls and or texting, right? The individual private messenger on Facebook is also good for people that use Facebook. You can send a follow-up or confirmation email. You can set up a Facebook event for your party to support the event and, be posting pictures of the jewelry and your shopping link for people who can't come. And of course, you can mail the postcards that come in the hostess packet. Now, what will be unsuccessful is to only use one of any of those methods, because some people never pick up their phone, right? Some people don't really like to text. Some people are never on Facebook. Some people are on Facebook but never seem to be able to find their notifications and whatever. So if you are depending 100% on a Facebook event, you're going to have bad attendance. If you don't pick up a phone, your mom, who's, like my mom is not a texter. So if I texted it, she's not getting it. I have to pick up a phone. But then if I wanted to invite, like, my sister-in-law, she doesn't pick up a phone. You have to text her. So that's why you have to do these multiple methods, so that you're hitting every different type of person in their preferred communication method. So, but what you're definitely not going to do is any kind of group text or group chat. That is the death of your party. Because what happens is the no's always come first. And you don't want them coming in a group environment. So if you send out 30 people a group text, the people who look at their calendar immediately know they can't come, quick respond, it's Tiffany's Christmas concert, I can't come, or, it's such and such has a game. And then if 3 of those in a row come in, then everybody else on the group text is like, oh, no one's coming. When meanwhile, totally 13 other people probably would have come. But now the unspoken message is like, no one's going. So always, even though it takes longer, you will get much better results. And you want to make people feel special, so that it's, hi, Phyllis, would love for you to come, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to share the words with you. As opposed to just some like impersonal group message, which nobody enjoys. And of course, you've all been caught in a hellacious group chat, right? Where you can't get out. You just want it to end. People start talking about other things and you're like, what are you talking about? This was an invitation for next Friday night. So none of that. So what are we going to say when we're inviting? Okay. You're just going to start out with, hey, Phyllis, it's Michelle Zito. Wait, I'm sorry. You're not going to say your last name. That's dumb. It's Michelle. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I started a business with Park Lane Jewelry. Have you heard of Park Lane? And they're either going to say yes or no, right? And just support either. So, oh my gosh, right? It's beautiful jewelry, all price points, and it's all guaranteed. I'm launching my business next Saturday night at 7, and I would love for you to be here so that I can get your opinions on the pieces that came in my kit. Are you free that night to join us? That's it. You can just get their RSVP right away. There's no reason to think that people need so much notice to come to something like a jewelry party. If you were going to go to the movies, right, would you call up your friend and be like, hey, Summer, do you want to go see A Star is Born on December 6th? She'd be like, what? December 6th? I don't know. Whereas if you said, hey, do you want to go see A Star is Born on Saturday, or maybe even next Saturday? People know if they're free this Saturday and if they're free next Saturday. They definitely don't know if they're free on December 6th because 1,000 things could happen between now and then. So just get that RSVP right away and then say, thank you so much. I'm so glad you can come. I'm going to text you an official invitation. And please feel free to forward that invitation to anybody that you think might enjoy the jewelry as well, because I would love to get as many opinions as possible. So bring me somebody who's fashionable and likes to wear cute jewelry. So now they know who to invite, right? If they say that they can't come, one habit that I want you to start to put into your head is if they can't come to me, I'm going to go to them. So if they can't come to you, then you can say, oh man, I'm so sorry. Now you can invite them to the second date, of course. Now, part of my job is to get the opinions of the jewelry from my friends and family so that I know what to bring to shows. Would it be okay if I stop by one day next week? I would love to get your opinions on the pieces that came in my kit. I actually did this with Belinda, and Belinda did a lot of them on her own where she actually didn't have her kit yet, and she took a bunch of my jewelry, and she was forever going to a lunch, going to the coffee, going here, going there, who was coming to her. And she did all these personal appointments for the people who couldn't come to her launch. And then at those appointments, they will either decide to make a purchase with you, they'll decide to book a party with you. You can get really great results, or they may want some information about the business. So does that sound like something that you'd be able to say to people?
Yeah.
All right. Summer, we like you.
Yay.
All right. So let's go on to step 3. Step 3 is to fill your calendar with the number of parties that you want to do. But I say in the beginning, try to get into that habit of like 2 a week, because that will give you some nice momentum. It gives you the opportunity to practice, because what happens is you'll do the show with your leader, then you do the show on your own, and you're like, oh, I forgot to say this. I wanted to do that. Next time I'm going to say this and that and the other thing. But if next time isn't for another 3 weeks, guess what? You're going to say the same, you're going to forget the same things and more things because you haven't had the chance to practice. So when you're inviting to your launch, it's actually smart to, with some people, to ask them if they would like to have a party of their own first. Because if you can schedule some shows ahead of time that will fall the week, in days to a week following your party, then the people at your party will book after that, so that you don't have a long lull between your launch and your next party. So, we don't want to have a big delay. So when you want to ask somebody to have the show, then you start with, hi, Sue, it's Michelle. I'm so excited. I couldn't wait to call you. I started a business. I am the newest stylist with Park Lane Jewelry. have you heard about Park Lane? And ask if she has. If she hasn't, you stay, have that discussion. Then it's, okay, so here's the best part. I'm looking for two of my funnest friends to have a showing of the jewelry with me. I need one little gathering and one big gathering. Would you be able to have one or the other of those? So the reason we don't say how many is because to some people, a small gathering is 8 people. And to some people, a big gathering is 6 people. So if someone would have thought that a small one is 10, great. Really, a small one is 3 to 5. But if somebody thinks that small is more like 10 or 12, well, then that's awesome. You're going to meet even more people. So now, if they say yes, then you go into scheduling mode. Scheduling mode means you're going to give them 2 choices at a time. So you're going to have your calendar in front of you when you're making these calls. So let's say you're going to be doing shows weekdays and weekends, right? So, or maybe you're going to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. For many years of my business, that's what I did. I offered Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I would say, would you like a weeknight or a Friday night? Or I would say, or now I say, would you like a weekday or a weekend? Or if you're only doing shows on the weekends, then you'll say, okay, so would you like a Saturday or a Sunday, right? So you're giving the first 2 choices is like what part of the week. So let's say she says, okay, I think I would like a weekend. Okay, I have, would you like day or evening? Oh, I guess a brunch would be great. Okay, I have Saturday the 10th and I have Sunday the 18th, which is better. So that way you're keeping people focused on that part of their calendar. Because if you say, okay, when do you want to have it? They're going to open their November calendar, right? And they're going to immediately start becoming distracted by Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving Indians and pilgrims thing that they have to cook the muffins for 3 days before, and that one of their kids' birthdays is the 1st. Okay, none of these things are a Saturday. So when we keep them focused on, I would like a Saturday, okay, I have Saturday the 10th and Saturday the 17th, which is better. They're going to look at their calendar and see that they have a bridal shower on the 10th, but that they have nothing on the 17th, and they pick. That's what's very efficient in getting shows booked, not just now, at every single show that you do and every single phone call that you make for the duration of your business. This is how I book shows. This is how I've always booked shows, because the reason that people say no or they waffle and backpedal is because they're overwhelmed with the process of picking a date. So it's our job to make it simpler to pick the date by giving 2 choices, then 2 choices, then 2 choices. And then as soon as they have a date, all you have to do is give them one of the packets that came in your kit and you are up and running. Okay? So if they say no, then you can say, oh, I totally understand, but I would love for you to come to when I launch my business next Saturday at 7. Would you be able to come? And I would love for you to bring a friend. Okay? If she can't come to that, you ask for the personal appointment, right? So now she can't come to me, I'm going to go to her. Would it be okay if I stop by one day next week? I would love to get your opinions on the jewelry that came in my kit. Usually if she has said no to the previous thing, she will at least say yes to that. However, I want you to just know that there's going to be people that say no to every single thing. And what they're not saying is, no, Summer, why are you calling this house? You're so annoying. I hate you. Don't ever call here again. They're not saying that, but when you're new to sales, that can feel that way because you're like, oh my gosh, you can't even just let me come over? Like, you start to get in a flurry. You're like, why is she saying no to everything? But the thing is, she might just be saying no, not right now. Like, she might just have a crazy busy week, and when given more time, she really can have you come the week after. She's not necessarily saying no, not ever. She might just be saying no, not right now. There are going to be people that you think are your for sure yeses that are going to be the no's. And then there are going to be people that you wouldn't have thought would come at all that come, place a $200 order, and book a party. So be open-minded to each transaction. When I started in direct sales and I told my mom what I was going to do, she said to me, oh, don't ask me to have one of those parties. Okay, that was my mom's response. If I had at that moment said to myself, oh my God, my mom's not even gonna support my business, maybe I shouldn't even do this. My life would be so different. That was 18 years ago. I've traveled to countless free places. I drive a Mercedes paid for by the company. All of these things through direct sales, right? If I had let my mom's immediate reaction affect my decision, that would have been such a bad decision on my part. You don't need everyone in your life to approve of what you're doing. So, and then I had people that, you know, I would have never in a million years thought would have a party or say yes. So we're just inviting everybody and we're not getting offended. So I want to show you a couple of more spots on the field interface that you will find helpful in the starting up of your business, because this can be a very overwhelming website, and I just want to show you the only spots you need to know right now, okay? Number one is, where did I get all of those words that I just shared with you, right? Right here in Getting Started, A Guide to Your Success. You can print this out. You can order it from supplies, but printing it out is fine because you really only need one of these. Here you have the page, which is a mock calendar. If you don't have a paper calendar, then at least print this page out, or get a paper calendar for your show purposes. I know we all keep our calendars in our phones, and that's great. But when someone wants to book a show, you can't show them your little tiny phone screen. You have to have a book with squares, and they see all this stuff written in there, because you want to look like the busiest person in Park Lane, so that there's a sense of urgency to get on your calendar, right? So when people tell me they want a weekend and I hold this up, they're like, oh man, let me, they're like, what does she even have? They're trying to look for what's available. Whereas if I opened a calendar that looked like this, now I'm like the restaurant with the empty parking lot, right? Nobody wants to eat at the restaurant when there's nobody in the parking lot. It's got to be awful. So you're going to fill in every commitment you have. If this here is your cousin's engagement party, you're writing that in. And if you have, something on this night and something on this night, so that people don't just think that you're sitting around waiting for their call, and that they can reschedule on you at any time, because that's not okay. All right. The next page here is helping you to think of people that you would like to do a show with and that you would like to share your business with. So when you make these lists, I highly recommend that you try to think of the reach around. And what I mean by that is the list of relatives, right? Your relative is, of course, your sister and your sister-in-law. But what about your sister-in-law's two sisters that you see at every family function? They count as relatives. What about the coworkers from your previous job, or from your husband's job from the Christmas party you go to every year with him? Neighbors, think about when you go to your friend's block party and you see those neighbors. Do you see what I mean? So it's not just necessarily the direct people in your life. Reach around in each category to see who you can think of also. And then here are the scripts that I was pretty much sharing with you. The wording is super similar, so you can print these out, keep this in front of you, practice it a little bit, and then give it a try. So this is where all these words are. This is the word choices for when you're asking them to have the show before you're inviting them to the launch. So you'll see the same thing here about the large gathering and the little gathering. So that is a super helpful place, a super helpful brochure for you. The other place that I think you'll find helpful is Park Lane 101. Which is all of the introductory information for new team members. So the steps to success, this is the same as the booklet that comes in your kit. These are the cards. These also come in your kit. It's just the cues for things to say during a show. But here, this Park Lane 101 tracker, helps you to keep track of what of the PL 101 that you've done. So I saw the part about, I saw the tracker. I looked over the booklet. I watched some videos about hostess coaching. I watched some videos on how to do the actual show. As you watch and do these activities, always let your leader know so that we can further talk to you about it. Each leader and each recruiter does their own show in their own way. So if you are Belinda's recruit, she's going to definitely want to share some tips and words that she knows from her many years of experience selling jewelry. And Phyllis may want to share with some of her recruits, a fun game that she plays during her shows or just things that she does. So these are all the things that we as leaders love to share with you as you are, working to build your business and to just to get started and build your skill set. So I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to stop the recording just to give everybody the freedom to ask some Q&A without feeling weird about that being recorded. So thank you so much for either joining live or watching back the replay, and we look forward to helping you have a super successful business here at Park Lane.